and welcome to PlayStation Grenade. So, Season 5 has been with us for a while now, and over that time, I've attempted to drop everywhere on the map to see if there's a perfect strategy for easier wins and higher chances of legendary loot. So here are the 6 best landing locations for easier wins and to keep the upper edge throughout the duration of the game. My personal favourite is number 6. Of course, it's right at the end of the video, trying to make you stay as long as possible. I'm a clickbaiter. This first landing location comes from ZachGG. He usually drops at Tilted Towers for high kill games. Well, this season, he's looking to improve his win ratio and stumbled across this spot to the right of Paradise Palms. You'll see an abandoned farmhouse with 2 chests inside. It's also highly likely that you'll locate a launch pad here too, as they spawn more often at the edge of the map. But let's quickly go outside and see the real reason this is a great spot. Just off the end of the map is a ramp and a rift. I won't lie, I've missed that jump so many times, so I recommend building out if you intend to use that rift. But let's leave that there for a moment. Travel south from that house to discover a few weapons and supplies laying around, but keep going and you'll find these 2 rock formations hiding 2 chests. At this point, you have a choice. Go back north for that rift, or continue south to the junkyard, which is usually empty, with potentially 4 more chests to loot. I would have made this the starting point, but it's hugely unpredictable if you'll find enemies here or not. In fact, thinking about this whole run, it'd probably work better in reverse, going from junkyard to rock formations and finally to the house, before rifting into the main part of the map. Let me know if you try that way round and what you think about this and all the other tactics in the video. I'd appreciate it. The next landing spot comes from a professional Fortnite player, none other than Dakotaz. Just as the barren sand becomes green luscious grass, you'll see a bridge, or rather 2 incomplete bridges. In around 60 seconds there are 5 chests to loot, with another close by. Upstairs in each of these buildings are a chest that you'd expect to be there, and close by there's a treasure chest on the back of this rusty old vehicle. But there's one more which many people completely miss. Venturing down into the mine reveals this chest hidden away. As we can't guarantee the loot, it's important to have other options nearby, such as rifts or other chests. Straight across on the other side of the bridge is this room, which can contain another chest. And if you're still unhappy with your loadout, run east for around 10 seconds to find this shack and another vehicle with a chest on it. This also gives you great sightlines into Paradise and the truck stop. Oh, and also note all the materials you can farm without any opposition. But it gets better, that is not the end. Just south of the bridge is a small oasis with a very high chance of providing rifts. These are essential in Season 5. My personal preference is to dive bomb the last remaining person in Paradise Palms and claim all their hard-earned loot for myself. Alternatively, use the rifts to take up any position you need. The emphasis on this location is how low players expect to see someone using the rifts here. They are so well placed and not many people use them. Thanks to Dakotaz for highlighting this area. In fact, that leads me on to my next example. Segway! This next one comes from Myles Dyer, who showed me this in a duos match. His theory is quite impressive and utilises multiple rifts. As a starting point, drop down on the Moai above Dusty Divot. Use this drop time to scout other players and maybe spot a llama or 2. Knowledge of other teams' rotations will help you win the final battle. But the landing part here is the most risky part of this entire plan. You need to get down there first, because however unlikely, there could be someone with you. I find landing on top of the statue's head and then quickly falling off is the best way to get to the loot first. But if you're miles behind an opponent, either skip to the next part of the plan or hit a nearby rift to duck out unharmed. If you find yourself all alone, open up the 3 chests, but remember to knock down the Moai for tons of stone, which is arguably the best material in Season 5. What Myles suggests doing here is now using the rifts nearby, if they spawn of course, to jump to the next Easter Island head, northwest of Tomato Town. Again, use the time in the air to scout other teams, and check if Tomato Town has been pillaged, giving you yet another option in this run. Repeat all the previous steps, including smashing down that stone head, and use the rift nearby to jump northwest over risky reels. You know what I'm gonna say, use the hang time to scout it out before entering, but if you prefer to stay completely out of trouble, drop on the ice cream truck for 2 further chests, and lo and behold, just north is yet another set of rifts to use. There's also a possible treasure chest behind the Noms sign. Finishing your run here puts you behind everyone, so you can pretty much bank on not being shot in the back. In total, this is a 2 to 3 minute run, which yields 9 chests, and is relatively safe. We could even try this in reverse, but I have a Season 1 tactic, which is now hugely viable again in Season 5. Back in Season 1, a great place to drop was the Architect's house in the top right of the map. Well, in Season 5, it's still a great place to land. If you didn't know already, the Architect's house is made of the same materials we use in-game. Therefore, it can be edited, as if we built it ourselves. Landing on top and quickly editing out the corner of the roof will get you to your first chest. Next, drop down, but don't jump, because you may lose a little health, and fall on top of the next chest. Inside the building is a third chest too. Once you've tooled up here, check the vending machine nearby, just in case it offers something great which can be purchased. Around here are trees, pallets and rock formations to loot without being harmed. If we're lucky enough, there will be an ATK to commandeer just by the garage, to allow us to move to our next location. The ice cream truck from the previous entry, or use the cart to go to the house in the top corner of the map for another chest drop, and then use the rifts to the north if needed. And remember, that chest by the north sign. But depending on the storm distance, you could venture into risky reels to surprise whoever's the last person standing there, or you could play covertly and travel down to Lonely Lodge, which most likely hasn't been looted either. This strategy can be very boring for aggressive players. The last time I used it, I won with a single kill. The last 2 opponents died in the storm. I think I actually shot 5 bullets in that entire match. Only you can decide if this playstyle suits you. To some people, it's a little too passive. To others, it's a great way to play the game. You won't be judged. Play how you see fit. I'm going to throw in this one. It's not the most fantastic, but it can be used if you're returning late from a toilet break, or you've been engrossed in your phone for too long, and it's ultimately the "oh bugger, I forgot to drop." Just below Viking Valhalla is an old film set with a dinosaur's footprint. Here you'll find 3 chests, one in the roof, another in one of the vehicles, and one is in the swampy areas just below. This one is on the list due to the level of random drops here. There's usually a med pack and shields, but the best thing about this location is a rift at the foot of the waterfall. You can use this to reposition instantly. Use it to shoot up to the top of Viking Valhalla by guarding the other rifts up there, or you could use it to go over to Greasy Grove. But without a doubt, the best way to use this is to jump over to yet another Easter Island head, this one just above Greasy Grove. Again, there could be 3 chests here, and all that stone to claim too. This is another great opportunity to link rifts, to travel huge distances. Traveling north, you will see a single rift all on its lonesome just above the football field. Chaining these 3 rifts together will take you from a questionable point on the map to any spot you desire, all due to your awareness of rift positioning and a little luck to see if they spawn. Right, finally, my favourite spot in the entire game. This town in the southeast corner with Mexican-inspired architecture, so I call the place El Pueblo. I think that means village in Spanish. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's unnamed, which makes it invisible to some players, but let's say it now, this place gets a little more attention every single week, so the likelihood of fighting someone is pretty high. Once you secure the town, this is a weapon fest and shields for days. I regularly pick up a scar, a shotty, a drum gun here, which makes the rest of the game much easier. Should the greed take over you, there are more loot locations to the bottom right corner of the map for a few more chests, and due to the positioning, there will likely be a launch pad here too. Back in El Pueblo, our landing spot, just north there are 5 potential rift locations, which are all pretty easy to spot. This is the beauty of this landing location. You'll be able to reach any of the other locations on the list using the rifts. Jump from El Pueblo to Dakotaz spot at the bridge, chaining rifts to locate other players, like this. You will encounter more opposition from this starting point, but due to the loot options and the strategic advantages of chaining rifts, this spot is by far my favourite spot in the entire map during Season 5. But what do you think? I'd love to know your opinions. So there we have it. 6 landing locations that can give you an easier time in Fortnite Battle Royale during Season 5. Do you have any locations which you recommend? Let me know in the comments and I'll shout you out in the next episode. A huge thank you to ZachGG, Myles, Dyer and Dakotaz for their suggestions. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade. It's been a bloody pleasure. I'll see you next time. El pueblo, el pueblito, el poblado.